Hey guys, I was just seeing something here. I had a crazy idea. So just look at this. So basically, I got to thinking, what are the game like? What are they hiding? You know? So if you look here, this scale just destroyed these barrels that were here. It's killed all of these merchants and things, but it didn't kill this hunter for some reason.
May Dwayne bless you.
But the scale is able to kill everything in here. So my question becomes, what happens if you help the monsters destroy everything in the game? Like, most likely we've already seen everything that the game has to, like, offer quest-wise, but maybe there's potentially some things that we never got the chance to see, you know? Damn. Now, this might be the most difficult thing that you've ever tried to do in this game, though. I'm just going to tell you right now. Probably the most difficult. Alright, so let's do this.
Almost there.
See what we're dealing with? Or see what we're dealing with here. Alright. What can we do here? Let's try and do this. Let's go here. Smack 2. See if we can get up in here before they reset. Yeah.
Just
You'll
getting
be doing
started.
that one for days.
We're making progress, alright? That's all that matters. These some. Brr.
What do you mean?
How many can we get?
Almost there. Now we can fight for real. Almost ready.
God damn it.
Hope I pull through.
Now we can fight for real. Gaining adrenaline.
Ah, Scooby-Doo references. That's odd, though. Suka.
Now we can fight for real.
Can't even tell you how difficult this is, you know?
What brings you here?
Everything's tied up and ready to go.
There we go. We must kill every. Oh my fucking god. These people. These people think they're so good. I don't know what the limit is for these guys. That's my question. If there is one, you know? I need to, like, deactivate my, I don't think they can reach this far, is the thing. Like, maybe if we could fear them into it, if we had more people with fear, we could fear them up the ramp. Or maybe it's just my healing, you know? They have to be able to get up in here. Yeah, like, they're able to get in here, so there's definitely a thing. my lord. I wasn't planning on spending this much time in here. Looks like there's no choice. Do this, back roll, and then you do that.
To unleash.
Okay. Maybe. Let's just look real quick. There's no centaurs here. But I don't know if the scales will kill the guards. But maybe. If we can get these bad boys over here.
Gaining adrenaline.
These guys. What? It's not like they're killing. They're not killing every monster on the map. Right? They're not killing every monster on the map. There's no reason for them to stop besides the fact that they think I'm in danger. They see I'm level 80. I'm moving. Oh, they fight each other. That's interesting.
Almost there.
They act like I'm like a static piece of meat. But it's like as soon as something like changes on the map a little bit to where it's like out of normal, they want to attack it. It's like you don't see these people just running down this line here, killing all the scales. No, that's not what's happening, you know?
Adrenaline rising.
You somber. Oh no, you get back here.
Now we can fight for real.
Damn. Can't get anything to come up this hill. Might be able to get a wolf.
to unleash.
Find everything you need.
I can't believe people, man. Why are there so many people here?
Gaining adrenaline. Fear me. Almost ready. Just getting started.
Like, he didn't even revive the people. Like, he full on just didn't revive anybody. I don't know if you could get centaurs across this bridge or not. If you had enough people, I wonder if you could like chain link, like if you're a guardian, use your like greatsword pull and just pull mobs across the field into an area.
Adrenaline rising. Gaining adrenaline.
Hey Google, cancel. Can't believe people, man. Like, how is this trading post this freaking popular? Like, I get the low-level players, but these max-level players, it makes no sense.
More people should learn to bark.
You'll find everything you need here.
Gringer's Draconic Coat. That's interesting to me because it's precision, vitality, expertise. So you would get a lot of condition duration off of that. Probably 100% without having to do anything. But your damage would probably suck. Condition damage, concentration, expertise. So if we use the ritualist stuff on our warrior, our health would be absolutely massive. We would lose our armor. Concentration and expertise would be exactly what we have now. Condition damage would be way higher, though. Twice as much condition damage, twice as much health. Trailblazers. Increased toughness, same vitality, increased condition damage, same expertise. Interesting. Power, toughness, concentration, expertise. Power, precision, condition damage, expertise. See, Vipers is what we had on this guy before.
Melissa 8.
'96 toughness. Trailblazers has a higher toughness. Than our old one, but you don't have any precision. 115, 115. I would have less total condition damage than my original build had, but I would have more health and more armor and more expertise. Was it 1300? So the thing is, the celestial armor. It's up.
Melissa aid you.
It's going all right, Scruffy.
Loose ends. It's time to go.
The title's still from the other day. We were testing this armor set over here the other day. Power, precision, condition damage. And we attempted to do might healing. And in a group, it heals for a whole lot, but without a group, it kind of falls off. And then somehow it just doesn't. I mean, at least without a group, it doesn't seem to pull its weight as much as just this basic armor set we were using before. But it's alright. I think in a group of 5, like, for a very cheap armor that you can get early game, I think it's potentially okay for, like, a small group of people, but I got to looking at this, we had Vipers on him already, and I don't know, I got rid of it to save money on ruins, I guess. I don't know, it was a dumb decision, but because technically this should have did more damage than everything that I had. But I just saw that they have these Trailblazers. And you can see it's 115 toughness. And then you have the vitality, condition damage, expertise. And back in the day, the original warrior build that I used that also used a trait that warriors don't have access to anymore. Used these precision, toughness, condition damage runes. And the build, like, it was all condition damage, sword, shield, longbow, and it was really, really strong and able to take on most builds like 1v1. But I don't know if it would be worth it to remake that build and then do because it used undead ruins back in the day to get like the maximum condition damage. But if we go Trailblazers, I can go Tempest ruins like I have now, get the 100% condition duration.
Come here.
I take a minor hit to the condition damage. I would have more toughness than my old build would have, which might make up for the lack of toughness that I lost in the traits. Not really, but kind of. And I would have more vitality. But my physical damage would be a limp noodle.
I feel strong.
How you been, Scruffy?
I carry only the highest quality goods.
I'll have work in a little bit too, so. But this trait right here used to be so much better. When I get off next week, if I'm not building on the house, you want to help me try something in game? I was trying to do it today, but there's too many heroes online. These people, they keep coming through the trading post, and it's ruining the plan. I actually got 2 plans, but yeah. Name's Protein. All right, so the first plan idea thing, I'm still trying to get a lot more people to do. If you ever seen a movie called Kung Pao, or not Kung, yeah, Kung Pao. It's an old like comedy movie. That's like a long-term plan. I'm thinking about trying to remake Kung Pao in Guild Wars 2. But the main idea that I'm having now is to see if there's any sort of hidden quest or way that we can manipulate the game to make quest lines like trigger. So in this trading post, for example, in Queensdale, you can bait these scale up in here and they'll kill everything in this trading post. Now, 2 potential things here is like, one, I just want to see what happens if everyone in the trading post is dead and if it happens to trigger some sort of quest event
See the color
that we've never seen before. But 2, if you can bait the scales in here and you had new players that wanted to just sit in here and revive the NPCs over and over again, you could technically just sit in here and just keep reviving, and then you could get that armor that increases your revive speed. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess you can't revive the guard, so maybe it's just like 6 or 7. Anyway, we're gonna become villains. That's basically what's going down. We're gonna find every settlement that we can, and we're gonna find ways to drag mobs and creatures inside of it and try to kill everybody. I've gotten to think about this. So, like the warriors, for instance, the fear me. If we can get like 10 people together, you'd have infinite fear, and you'd be able to kind of corral them. If you had like guardians, you might be able to use the great sword and chain pull them across the map. The problem here is that the people don't attack the scales just in general, but as soon as I bring them up into here, they go crazy, and they want to slay every last scale they see. But basically, you just watch this. There's this one, and there's a couple, like you can even get the ones that are over here to come up in here, but it's kind of difficult. But see, that's what happens right there. Because it, none of these players take the time out of their day to kill every scale or anything on the map at all. But if they're in their path, they'll instantaneously kill it and then run. I guess it's ridiculous. And before, I kept pulling more and more of these scale in here. I had like 6 of them all at once. And the players, for some reason, like every single high-level player and stuff in the game just decided to sit in this trading post. Will he run out of initiative? Anyway. Because I wanted to see, I don't think there's anything that you can pull to take this tower over here, but I'm trying to trigger the events, if possible. Like, if I could bait something here to kind of kill all these guards.
Adrenaline rising. There's one to remember me. Fear me. Almost ready.
Alright, let's get it going. Someone will show up. Just mark my words. Someone's going to show up. The armor smith didn't trigger this time. That's weird. Normally these back armor smiths kind of like trigger. It's very odd.
What do you need?
I already broke them somehow. But yeah, I just want to see, like, so if you sit here and you revived them. It's like 300 something XP. There's always somebody in here, though. I think the main reason they don't like it is because this is like the only black line trading post person on this map. Anyway, here's what I want to do. So we're gonna go try to knock this out real quick because I gotta go to work here in a minute. So warrior, human. Longbow. Yeah, our sword shield longbow that we tried to do with might generation just doesn't seem to cut it. And I think it's because, like, with the great sword being power focused, your dodge rolls do more damage, and you're guaranteed to get that 100% might generation when you have 100% crit. Whereas, like, the sword, if you're doing condition damage and trying to do might generation, your rolls don't really do a whole lot, and you have to basically stay in combat the whole fight, and then your might generation isn't 100%, so it falls off. So I don't know if there's any way to really fix that. We tried to fix it with the ruins, though. Aristocrat ruins. So every time we use a burst skill, we would get additional might. But then the only other thing that we have is shield bash, and then the blinding arrow that can apply weakness, and that would be the only other source of might generation that we could get. And those each take 20 seconds to recharge. So you're only going to get one of those every 10 seconds, which is 5 might for 10 seconds. So that's 1 might for every 2 seconds in combat, which doesn't seem very good when you're fighting a lot of numbers, to be frank. But if you're using a physical damage type build, like if you were using like Bull's Charge or mainly just this kick, if you're using this kick, you could get a lot of might generation off of this, especially in combination with the bow. And Fear Me can give you might generation as well. It's only 5. You only get 5 might generation. That's the only thing I can really consider with that. Because if you use the physical trait line, let me look at this real quick. Let's go here. So instead of Brave Stride, you go Peak Performance. And then you can get this every 24 seconds, which that would almost get you to a might a second. A little bit. You're still a little bit behind. See, I don't remember what we were doing with the Viper. I think the Viper, we had the same stuff that we have now on it. I don't remember why it didn't work, though. The only thing I can figure is, because here's the other thing, too, is that, so like the armor that we have right now, Sword, Shield, Longbow, trying to do the might generation, it only has 1,000 toughness, whereas the Celestial armor is 1,600. And it seems to have a drastic difference in like the amount of damage that you take. But on the Great Sword Rifle Warrior, which is the same exact build pretty much as the Sword Shield Longbow that we have here, it doesn't really matter because he gets like 100% might generation, so he heals for so much more. But also on that build, we use Healing Signet because we dodge roll and stuff so much. But when you use Sword Shield Longbow and you're doing the condition damage on it, you can't really dodge roll so much, it doesn't seem like, because you have to apply the damage. Let me. If we do this with peak performance, and then we were to say, go cleansing ire, and then kick. Stomp is a stun break as well. That's what's interesting about that. So, like, if we use Stomp on our other build instead of Fear Me, you're eating stability for 6. Let me swap armor real quick. I don't know. You get stability for 6 seconds. And then you're getting 6 seconds of stability on hit. And then if you have Tempest Ruins, you're going to get that 1100 heal to you and your allies when you do this. Blast Finisher.
You'll find everything you need here.
Be cool if this removed boons or something, though. But I find this interesting. Anyway. We go this to kick. And if we go body blow, we can now get almost 3 might a second. Be very close to 3 might a second. But Forceful Greatsword, it's a 50% chance for might. That's the thing that's kind of... If you're fighting 3 people, so like the max your sword can hit is 3 people, and you have a 100% crit chance, but then you have 50% chance for might, and I think this is the thing that's really killing it. It's just like, every auto attack, though, you could do this. I guess it's just like, how often are you auto attacking, I guess? I don't really... No one touches the centaur. Interesting.
Wake up, you motherless Ettins. It's time to go.
Everything Everything's tied up and ready to go.
As long as you don't touch the Black Lion trader, that's all that matters to these people.
What brings you here?
Alright, we'll try to knock something out here real quick. I just want to see how much might generation we get. So we have body blow. We're going to start with the sword. So you basically engage, kick, and then you would like hit with that. You see it's giving us 5 might when we hit with those, but it only does it like once per second. So you got to space everything out per second. But as long as you do that, I mean 5 might in a second, and you're going to have 7 uses at the very beginning. So you got 7 uses, which is how much? 35 might. And if you pull that off per second, that would be about 10 seconds of combat. I just don't know if it's worth it, you know? They need private maps on this game. Sometimes I just want to be alone, you know? There's just people. There's people everywhere. So you do that, and you come in. Let's go to the Silver Waste or something. See if there's a leftover boss in here somewhere. Alright. So you go into that, and then you dodge roll, hit the dodge roll, come back in here, boom, hit that. I don't know if it's better. That's the thing. We're able to use it fairly frequently, but we're not gonna have as many stun breaks doing this for sure. And we don't have as much damage immunity. In 1v1 situation, it's probably better. but in a group. Thing is, like, if you auto attack 3 people and you get a 50% chance, and you can do that per second. Well, actually, I mean, Forceful Greatsword doesn't have a duration requirement. So it becomes, can you get more than 5 might in 1 second with Forceful Greatsword? Three. You need like a group of things. Let's try to get these salamanders. Alright. So here. Oh my god. Get. Yeah. So you go here, here. And we're already at 25. That's with the Fire Roar. So Fire Roar, you get 1 might per thing hitting you. Okay. A couple of these guys. There we go. Alright. So we're going to activate this. We got 10 might, 14, 17. I mean, that right there looks like it's still giving us more than 5 a second. Then this right here, it can't be more than 1 in auto. It may be 2 might. Only main problem that we have with this setup is that we don't have access to permanent fury like we do with the great sword as well. The great sword can always have 100% crit, whereas the sword falls off. I mean, it's stuck at 70 right now, and then you get up to 100 when you activate it. Trailblazer. The only problem I can see with this is that you don't have any healing power as compared to Celestial. So when you use Celestial gear, you get 2,000 health per shout, and then with Tempest Runes you get 1,100 per stun break. So potentially 3,100 or so, 3,200 health. And then when you go for 5 warriors, you're looking at 10,000 to 15,000 health every time that they use their shout, which is basically replacing their heal skill, which is what the whole system is based around. But when you use this armor, those shouts are going to be healing for like 1,300, which means you're only going to be getting 5,000 to 6,000 health a use, unless you're stun breaking, which drastically reduces the amount that you heal. The other thing with this though is that you lose a bunch of power. I think this was like 1,600 or something with Celestial. Expertise though is higher for some reason. Expertise 45. Damn, I don't know why this is so high, but it's pretty much on par with that, but the condition damage here is much higher. And so I find this interesting because personally, I really like condition damage on the warrior with the sword, shield, longbow. Um, and my main interest with that is that, well, I like sword, shield, rifle as well, but it's a lot harder to pull off, I think, as we've seen with the long shield sword compared to great sword. Although I think sword is the most versatile weapon, there's there's problems that are arising out of some of the stuff that we're trying to do with the sword, shield, rifle. But when we look at this, so our old warrior build, it used to be precision, toughness, condition damage. And so this right here has less condition damage than those ruins by, a little bit. Has more toughness, but it also has way more expertise. So it has the potential to do more damage, lasting a lot longer as well. But on the other set that we did, we always used undead ruins. So you see, this gives you condition damage, toughness, and then you get 7% of your toughness into condition damage. So, but what made this trait really good in the past was that when you used it, we were able to get an additional 1,000 toughness in our traits, which we don't have access to anymore. So it's kind of a confusing thing, because here we could basically get 300 additional condition damage, and then we would get 7% of our toughness into condition damage. So 7% of, let's see, we get 100, or no, we would get 175 condition damage, and then we're getting 225 toughness. So it would bring our armor up to like 2,300 and something, almost 2,400. And then we would be getting 7% of that. Oh. So 164 additional condition damage. So we would be getting a total of 175. All right, so we get plus 175. 339, which means that we would be getting 1,400, almost 1,500 condition damage with that. But we would lose also the increased armor value, which, can't really be understated. I do like a good thick warrior. We would hit like a limp noodle, though. That's the only problem that bugs me a little bit. But you're looking at, almost 1,500 condition damage, but your expertise would drop 25%. So it depends on how long you want your bleeds to last, I guess. Um, hmm. Because you can see the difference between 14, 1,500, or basically, 400 condition damage down. But we get all of the increased ruins. And then like our bow here, or we haven't got our traits and stuff selected yet. So if we do the same build that we have now, we go here, we would have tactics. Because you can do might generation on this too, but we can go tactics, and then we have arms, which is what we have on our character right now, but we could also just go for strength if we wanted to. Probably go arms, and you get furious. The other thing, so Sundering Burst, if we have no crit chance, burst skills inflict vulnerability if they hit, and inflict additional vulnerability if the attack is a critical hit. Can only occur once per interval per target for multi-hit bursts. So for us, I mean, I don't think it would be terrible, but you're looking at half of the vulnerability that you would have had otherwise, but I don't think it matters. Like in the longer the fight draws out, the more vulnerability you're going to inflict on the target. So you're going to be able to get up to 20. And if you're in a group of warriors, this is going to be, max vulnerability any case, like no matter how you splice it. But if you wanted to, you could also get Blade Master, and you see how that pops up. 66 to 74%. You know, and I don't know if this is even considering this right now. Yeah, it's 100% bleed already without that. But that would be an additional like 120 condition damage, which would put this up to like 1600 baseline if we use the other version. And we can see that I don't know exactly how much damage it would give us, but you're looking at 120 expertise. So it probably would be significant for bleed damage. So like your total bleed damage would probably be on par with what it is now. It would look like. And then you get expertise based on precision, but that's useless for us here. But the other thing is that gaining reduced recharge on your signet, so we wouldn't have access. Like you could still take this. I mean, you'd get the unblockable for 6 seconds, but the ferocity would basically be wasted, you know. So you could then go and do opportunists, so gain fury and adrenaline whenever you immobilize a target. Could potentially be better. That's also going to give you bonus condition damage. But you would lose defense value on your Signet Mastery here of 12 seconds, which is fairly significant on the rotation. $96.93. All right, so I'm going to do a print screen of this. And hopefully that worked. And then we're going to go back in and do condition damage, and then I'm going to have to get dressed for work for sure. So we go undead. It doesn't look like our armor value, like it went up some, but it didn't go as fast as I thought it was. So like right now, our condition damage is 1175. This is 200, 2200. Nothing. Maybe it takes time to update. Or actually no, because it's 2200. And this went up to 1275. Yeah. So this, we got extra armor and a lot more condition damage. And then if we came over here, we could then do Blade Master, which is putting bleeding back up to 90%. But burn is down to 77% from like 90. $95 and 82%. I mean, you lose a little bit of condition duration here. Oh, when we swap to the sword, it goes down to 85%. So we would need, I mean, we could still make that work though. Because we still have plenty of stuff that we could do. I mean, we could still do like the 10% increase here under like on condition if we wanted to keep the fire damage up potentially. Or you could just do the bleed. %5 condition damage. I don't know, man. Because that's a toss-up. So in this right here, in this example right here, you're not gonna have quickness like you had before. You could still run quickness if you don't want the extra condition damage, but if you're doing full condition damage, you might as well use the other one, potentially. we have slightly lower condition duration. We have less total shout healing because instead of getting 2,000 per shout heal, you're going to get 1,000. And then you have less healing on. You'll have less healing on your stun breaks. You won't have any healing on your stun break. But basically, this means that, instead of your shouts, like shake it off, instead, it's not going to heal you for 2,000 anymore. So in a group of 5 warriors, it isn't going to be 10k, and it's not going to be 15k if you break out of stuns. It's going to be 5,000, which means you need that plus a Fear Me shout to equal to 10k. I mean, you would still have a decent amount of healing either way. It's just kind of interesting how that works. And then if you did the phalanx strength, you're getting 70 health per might stack. So 350 health per might. And like with the bow, you can get 3. So you could apply 3 to everybody, which would already be almost 1,000 health. And then with the sword, you would be able to proc the fire aurora. So every auto attack would heal you for 350. Every hit that you take would heal you for 350. Which I don't know if that would be better or not. But you'd also lose, your condition removal, sort of. Any case, I mean, that would be a lot of condition damage. Let's go ahead and put Fury on. And then we want, where's Might? $25 stacks of Might. So right here, you're looking at 25,000 Might, and then you would have 25 stacks of vulnerability. Or we have this too, so we got to do this. 25 stacks, or almost 3,000 condition damage, almost 2,000 on the power. So you would see that, like on our other build, it's fairly equal between condition damage and power. This one's very high on the condition damage. Like one auto attack here over 11 seconds is 2,000 damage. But the physical damage is a lot. But one reason I also like condition damage is in low level areas, it's a little bit nicer for your allies, But like, look at this final thrust. I mean, damage against low health foes 1,800, which isn't crazy, but I mean, in a group of 4 or 5 warriors, that's still gonna be 8,000-9,000 damage. But the base bleed, 3 stacks of bleed for 15 seconds is 10,000 damage. Bleed against low health foes, 15 seconds, 18,000, 19,000 damage. I can't even, like, look at this. 11 stacks of bleed, 7 seconds on flurry, 17,415 damage. I mean, you're doing 11 hits with 1,500 damage already at the very beginning. I believe that is. So, I mean, like, let me look at this real quick. So 17,415. So 17,415 divided by 7. 2,487 damage a second. I can't even, like, it doesn't seem like much, but when you look at, like, what a sword is in the game, and you're fighting somebody that can apply bleed on every auto attack, like, you gotta look like my warrior here. Physical damage immunity, for the most part. Damage immunity, damage immunity, damage immunity. You know, you're not gonna get through this with physical damage for the most part. Condition, we can remove conditions, all right? But I only have 3 condition removal skills. 4 with the burst, and then we'd have 3 of all our allies. So altogether, you would have 15, and then your burst skill, which could remove conditions. But if every warrior auto attack is applying, like, just this basic auto attack here is 2,375 damage. Let me just do this. Let's do it divided by 11. That's 226 damage a second for 1 auto attack. And let's say that we get 10 bleeds. 2,261 damage a second for 10 bleeds. Potentially, you're looking at 2,000 damage or so for 10 bleeds, 5,000 damage or so for 25 bleeds. And with 10 bleed stacks isn't that hard to get, guys. You know? And that's then the cripple duration is still only 1 second on this, but 2,000 times 5 is already 10,000 a second, and then you do 2,000 or 5,000 times 5, it's already 25,000. You know, that's an absurd amount of bleed stacks. And let's go 19,000 damage over 15 seconds. 19,000 divided by 15. So that is 1,200 damage a second. Potentially times 5. 6,000 something damage a second. Like, even with my warrior with 3,000 health, that's 5 seconds. And at 15,000 health, which is what this is, would be 3 seconds. Absolutely absurd amount of damage. Let's look at sword. If you do a sword secondary, a riposte is doing 22,000 damage over 15 seconds. $1,500 damage a second. I get that these aren't very big numbers to y'all guys. Like, y'all are looking at this and be like, oh, I do 2,000 or 200,000 damage a second. But in my world, 200,000 damage a second to, like, PvE monsters, you know, it's okay. That's good. But against players, you're not going to be able to stick onto a player that easily. So you're not going to get 200,000 damage a second. And then you have to chase them down. You're going to fight them. And if you fight something like my character, your physical damage is going to be void. Like, it's not going to even do anything. So your main goal is going to have to be overcoming my condition removal. And imagine, like, you have a bleed that's doing this much damage, you're going to want to cleanse some of that, which opens up the possibility for Fear Me to come in. Because you burn through all your condition removal in the first, like, few seconds of the fight, and then you get smacked with 25 seconds of fear. Like, look at this. You don't even need the second ability here, but I mean, like, just look at the damage on that. Throw your sword at your foe and impale them. You're getting Torment. $17,000 damage if foe is stationary. So let's say that you, like, use Impale on somebody, and you have max stacks of bleed. So let's go 5,000 damage a second. And we're not even going to go for the flurry things. We're not going to do the flurry stuff. No, 5,000 a second. And then we're going to do 17,662 over 12 seconds. Okay, so we're looking at 6,500-ish damage. And then we apply the burn. See that burn? 20,000 damage over 9 seconds. 15,000 damage over 9 seconds. And it's not even like 100%. This isn't even 100% condition damage duration. It's 9 seconds. Right here, 26,000. Like, this is 1,000 damage a second or so on the pin down. But you're looking at like we're losing a little bit of condition duration, but 4 stacks is 20,000 over 9 seconds. It's already 2,000. That would be easy to proc. So let's times that by 2. You're at 4,000. You're looking at like 10,000 damage a second potentially right here. Do you understand the level, like, unless your characters have condition immunity, you're going to be taking 10,000, 15,000 damage a second. All Mesmer clones are going to be dead as soon as they spawn. All assassins are going to be bleeding to death before they even have a chance to come after you. Like, you understand how much condition damage this is. That's what I like about condition warriors. The fact that you could come against me and you're going to do 0 physical damage. And then even when my defenses are down, my armor is going to be so high that, like, I'm not even going to take as much damage as you think I would anyway. And then even if you run away from me, you're going to be bleeding and burning for like 10,000 damage a second. It's absurd. Absurd amount of damage. My only question is that damage worth the loss of the other stuff? Because okay, so one thing that we have here is that our might generation is going to be very dependent on our bow and our fire aurora. So in a group of 5, you can kind of show where the bow fire is going to be, and your burst skills are going to apply the might generator. You get 3 stacks, so you get 5 players. You would have 3 stacks per player. You're looking at 15 on the first burst. So you can easily get 25 stacks of might, but I don't know how long it's going to last. So if we look at these numbers here, 2200 toughness, 3425 armor, 1600 toughness, 2852 armor. So I'm losing 800 or so toughness, which is fine. I have actually, I don't have full might stacks here. We gotta, hold up, we gotta reduce this. So we're gonna go to 0 and 0. None of that. All right, so I have 641 additional power on this character. So our physical damage really didn't go up a whole lot. Baseline. But on this character, with the Celestial armor, we are getting a better efficiency when it comes to our bleed and burn. Okay, because our burning duration's already at like 92. Okay. And this one is at 82. So we lose 10% of our efficiency on our burn. We're getting 6,000 something damage. They're getting 3,000 additional damage compared to me over the same duration with the burn. Bleed, we're getting 8,706. They're getting 1,500, so almost twice as much damage to me there. Okay. We're doing 1,500 damage here. They're doing half as much physical damage. They're doing 400 and something. So we got twice as much physical damage as they have, and they have twice as much bleed and burn damage than we have. Or not twice as much, but they have 50% more condition damage than we have, and we have twice as much physical damage as they have. But we also don't have 100% crit all the time. We can go up to like 70% on this character, but our critical damage goes up to 230%, where theirs is baseline. So our physical damage is twice as much and will crit twice as hard as them. So we're getting like 4x the physical damage. And with the way our stuff is set up, we would have a little bit more damage immunity with our rotation because our Signet of Rage is at a lower cooldown. But they could easily just swap this over as well, and they would lose, 5% of their stuff, which didn't really impact anything too majorly. I mean, you got 14,780, 9,000, 12,000. So you lose like 400 damage. You lost like 400 damage. And then this, you got 1,200, pretty much 10,000. And you come over here, and you're going to have 1,200. You lost like 300 condition damage. And what you gain off of this is unblockable attacks. You're going to have your immunity skill up faster, and you get, increased ferocity. So you'll get the additional ferocity, but it won't be as high as ours. You'll get like 180%, but your crit chance is like null and void anyway. You could still technically take the 3-second crit swap sigil on your sword shield if you wanted to, but I mean that's still, it's not going to do a whole lot for you, I don't think. but like the condition damage alone, because like on our celestial build right here, like there's times if we're getting our rotation down really good that we're doing 10,000 plus damage on bleed and burn together at the same time, and doing like 5 or 8,000 damage on auto attack. But this would be, you know, because 6,000 something damage here on this compared to, you know, 9,000. Because I think the burn and bleed on this is fine for the most part. Like even in combat, like if you're proccing 2,000 damage a second, it's pretty scary. But just the bleed, man, it's the main thing. Is just like the bleed on the sword, just the auto attack. So this one, 700 damage. You know, not the biggest thing. This one, 1,200 damage. So you're taking 100 damage a second per auto attack here, and you're taking like, I don't even know how much here, like under 100 damage a second with that one. But do 10 stacks, you're doing, so 10 stacks, you'd be doing like 700 damage a second or something, and then 10 stacks over here, you're doing like 1,200 damage a second. And with like condition damage, you don't have to chase anybody. So if someone comes up to your line and 5 warriors hit somebody one time with this, they're going to then be taking 6,000 damage over the next 11 seconds. So they pretty much have to cleanse it. That, and when you put the fire field on the ground and people walk over it, they're instantly going to take that burn damage as long as they're walking through that area. 4 seconds, you're taking 12,000, or 9 seconds, you're taking 12,000 damage. So you're already taking, you know, 1,000 something damage a second AoE right there. It's pretty crazy, you know, but I don't know how it would work out with the reduced healing and everything. I like the Celestial Armor because it gives you a good balance. You have high condition duration, you have high physical damage, you have high condition damage. The condition builds I still really like, and it's pretty much was the first build that I ran in Guild Wars for a long time, and it's always worked really good for me. But I know it's not as strong as it used to be because, like here, you can see that they got 3,000 something armor. In the past, you could spike this up to 5,000 or so armor with the trait, and you can't do that anymore. Which would it would also spike your condition damage up more. But the reduced healing, I don't know, because one shake it off healing you, like from 5 warriors, one shake it off healing you for 10,000 health is really strong. When it drops down to 6,000, that's not so good anymore. Because you're talking about, you know, a heal skill's worth of healing here, heal skill's worth of healing here. You come back, heal skill's worth of healing here, heal skill's worth of healing in your secondary trait line. You know, it goes to 6,000. You have to use 2 of these to equal 1 heal skill. But we'll probably still build it. I'll probably still build the Trailblazer thing right here in this armor set. It's probably going to happen. This extra condition damage. Alright, I gotta go to work, so thank y'all guys for coming in and watching. I gotta go.